Someday, some of you may wish to attempt a long hike. Now, by long, I don't mean 5 miles, 10 miles, 100 miles. I mean long, 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles, 2,000 miles. Now, when you think of something of that magnitude, probably the first hike that comes to your mind is the Appalachian Trail. It's the most famous long-distance trail in the world, stretches from Georgia to Maine in the eastern United States, and people flock from all over the world to try it. But it's not the kind of endeavor that you attempt, willy-nilly. You have to do your homework first. You have to accumulate the right kind of gear, and you have to study the strategies that were employed by those who went before you. So I thought that it would be interesting to do that today. Let's study the kit that was taken by a successful thru hiker of the Appalachian Trail, employ the strategies that they employed, and see if someone could emulate that feat today using the same kind of gear. Now it looks like this hiker built their kit around the 10 essentials, probably without even knowing it. Now, if you don't remember what the 10 essentials are, it's navigation, sun protection, clothing, illumination, first aid, fire, repair, nutrition, hydration, and shelter. So, let's start with the shelter component. It looks like for shelter, they didn't bring a tent or a tarp. They brought a shower curtain. So, makes sense if you think about it. A shower curtain is plastic, it's waterproof, it's lightweight, it's durable, keeps you dry, so why not? So they brought a shower curtain, and then in conjunction with that, their sleep system was not a sleeping bag or a quilt, just a plain blanket. So between shelter and sleep system, we're all set. We have our shower curtain and we have our blanket. We need additional clothing, obviously, so one change of clothing, an extra pair of socks. You're going to need a small pot to boil water. You're going to need a small jar to carry excess water with you. So I think here it says that they brought a small baby bottle for water. This is a very resourceful person, actually. So a spoon, a Swiss Army knife, a first aid kit, which was basically just a little tin of Band-Aids with a bottle of iodine and a couple of aspirin tablets supplemented to it, some pins for clothing repair, a flashlight, a piece of rope, a warm coat, and most importantly, footwear. Now the footwear, as you know, and as this person says, the head is more important than the heel, so a pair of sneakers, canvas sneakers, is just fine. You can always replace them, as you go. So as far as food goes, you want to bring some raisins and nuts with you, some dried meat, some dried beef, some chicken bouillon cubes, and everybody's favorite hiking food, Vienna sausages. I think the only thing missing now is a walking stick, which you can cut from any tree that you pass by, and something to carry all of your gear in. So what is a resourceful person to do but make their own? What this person did was took some old denim fabric and sewed it into a sack and put a drawstring on it, and all the gear fit right inside there nicely. Now, those of you who don't know who I'm talking about probably think that I've run off the rails. But those of you who do know something about the history of the Appalachian Trail know that I'm talking about Emma Gatewood, Grandma Gatewood. Now, interestingly, this was her actual kit, and I'll show you a picture of it here. But here's the strategy she employed. She waited until she was 67 years old before she attempted to hike this trail. 67. Now, the first time she tried it, she didn't make it because she broke her glasses. But she regrouped, tried it again, and was successful. After that, she tried it another time and was successful. Then she tried it a third time at the age of 75. Did it in sections, but was successful. She also hiked the Oregon Trail from Missouri to Oregon, another 2,000-mile trail. She hiked in Colorado. In fact, after the age of 67, she put in over 10,000 miles until her death. So, you know, for those days that you don't feel like getting out there, you make every excuse in the world, take a little inspiration from this woman. You won't find anyone as tough as Grandma Gatewood. Believe me, she is a pioneer. First woman to ever hike the Appalachian Trail, let alone, you know, first woman to have hiked it 3 times. This is in, you know, in the 1950s when things like this just weren't done by women. So hats off to Grandma Gatewood. It would profit you guys to read up a little bit about her life. She didn't have an easy go of it, and she always had a cheerful disposition and did what she set her mind to do. A lot can be learned from a person like this. That's all I have for you right now. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.